GaragePunk.com. Podcast.
Out of the walls and into your ears, the Untold Fables live at Safari Sands.
On Halloween night in 1987, I found myself wandering through the streets of Hollywood, California, under the influence of a brand new drug called ecstasy. Weaving my way through palm trees and drunken Mexicans, I found my way back into the nightclub I had escaped from a few minutes before. As I made my way to the front of the stage, I was bathed in a shower of fuzz, the hair on my arms tingling to a frantic whirlpool of sound. In front of me stood four gruesome figures, bathed in red and blue lights, bursting from the stage like a 3D comic book. A vibration of words seeped into my brain, searching out the appropriate cells to manipulate, feeding answers into my synapses filled with questions. Lyrics becoming fables untold until now. Glancing around me in an attempt to share my euphoria with others, I discovered I was the only person standing in front of the stage. 10 feet away, huddled near the bar, I spotted my fellow clubgoers with hands covering their ears and looks of confusion on their faces. This would be the last time I would see the Untold Fables live.
Flashback, 1983.
The weekend arrives and a suburban teenage exodus begins. A 45-minute drive on the northbound 405 freeway brought me, as well as a relatively small group of disaffected Orange County teenagers, to the forgotten city of Los Angeles and nightclubs like the Lhasa Club and the Rave Up in search of real rock and roll with the attitude of 70s punk and the beat and melody of mid-60s American garage bands. For a few precious hours each weekend, our world was rocked to the sounds of bands like the Crawdaddies, the Unclaimed, the Howling Men, the Pandoras, Rain Parade, Green on Red, and the Eyes of Mind. Something was happening and you couldn't find it by walking down Hollywood Boulevard. These were clubs entered through seedy back alleys, promoted by word of mouth, offering a fuzz, reverb, tube-driven, stripped-down, raw rock and roll sound that would surely leave the Sunset Strip metal kids scratching their bleach-blonde noggins in confusion. What we experienced in these early days, most of us were still in high school, gave a lot of us the sense that we can play a part in the history of punk culture that seemed to have left our age group in a virtual no man's land, even tagging us as the Generation X, which seemed to reinforce the idea that no one was quite sure where we fit in the post-war youth culture story. We were the little brothers and sisters of the 70s punks and the children of the 60s punks, forced to swallow REM and U2 as our alternative voice and like it. But what we saw and heard during those weekend excursions to the city, and with the encouragement of more seasoned scenesters from a generation before us, most notably cats like Rich Coffey, Lee Joseph, and Greg Shaw, sparked an explosion of bands that would define the 80s garage punk scene. Most notably the Gravedigger Five, the Morlocks, the Beguiled, the Telltale Hearts, and somewhere in a suburban garage in Orange County, the Untold Fables. The Untold Fables sound built up and then broke down the traditional concepts of 60s garage. The 60s influence was surely there, but also the distinct sound of Orange County punk rock. Asked to describe their music to a deaf person, singer Paul Carey answered, "Something like a truckload of bricks and gravel being dumped down an up escalator into the toy department at Sears right when a Concorde jet flies over the store." This melding of influences made the Fables stand out from the rest of the bands. Fashion was also a big part of the scene that the band twisted to suit their style, mixing Beatle boots and tab collars with Ramones t-shirts and Converse All-Stars. In a scene that was incredibly fashion conscious, this didn't always go down well with the hipsters. As a Fables fanzine once announced in bold letters on the cover, the Untold Fables are not a psychedelic band, and if you don't like it, that's your problem. The document you are about to hear was recorded at Safari Sam's in Huntington Beach, California in late '84 or early '85. The band's debut album, Every Mother's Nightmare, would be released several months after this show. Number one fan Rich Coffey from The Forgiven is heard introducing the band and promoting issue number 1 of his fanzine Morals of the Untold Fables. Various hipsters of the time can be heard in the audience, most notably Audrey Moorhead letting out her blood-curdling screams at all the appropriate moments. I was also in attendance, but totally sober this time as most of us were under the drinking age. Special thanks to Gil and Sam for the recordings, which to my knowledge are one of the very few known Untold Fables live shows that still exist until the legendary Steve Hill recordings are made available. As musical styles come and go, it's easy to look back at the 80s, 60s garage phenomenon as pure retro nonsense. Hopefully this recording will prove once and for all what we knew all along. And now, out of the vaults and into your ears, the Untold Fables live at Safari Sands. This has been Gringo Star.
My favorite band. So there is now an official Untold Fables fanzine for anybody who's an official Untold Fables fan. And here's one now. Yes, it is free to true fans. So, and if you write to this number, you'll get onto their mailing list. You'll get a free membership card. So much stuff, you can't believe it. Anyway, are you guys happening? These guys are always happening. Okay. So, wait a minute. Hey, this is a limited edition, man. Yeah, look at all those pictures. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing what you can do with a photocopy machine. Anyway, so here we have it. The Motorhead of 60s garage rock, the Untold Fables.
My whole world is mine. Now I know how I want you back.